and fix it. God, this is exciting. I'm glad this is really good. I'm excited about this. Yeah, I remember you. God, what is up with all these threes? Three, 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 three.
Yeah, it's just here is the 12th of Mars just entered, so it's like a 3
There,
day.
there's another three.
It's the
Okay.
second one in
Yeah,
Mars.
that's right. Nikki or somebody was talking about it yesterday. This is the 333, the second one of the month. And
And
then
there's
there's
another
another one.
one on the 21st, right?
Yeah, the equinox and full moon will be the third one. Oh my God, this is
Oh,
going to be
God.
a powerful month. I'm just trying to hang on here. I've just, I've been, like I said, I do a show, I got to lay down. I do a show, I got to lay down. It's been like this for about 3 days.
I guess you're processing a lot of energies, right? With all the people you're talking with.
I don't know. I think it's, I have a feeling it's whatever's coming in 2 or 3 or 4 days, you know? I think part of it is the people and doing the shows. And
And all the
then,
activations
yeah, and
that are
then,
happening.
yeah, I mean, God, yes, it is. The shows, they activate me a lot, especially as the days go by. And so, but yeah, I'm just, it's affecting my whole body. And then I get really drowsy. So I know I have to lay down, it's,
Or you need
Sudafed's.
Morgan to be there.
Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
She better come back soon.
She will. It'll be 2, 3 months.
Hi,
But
Morgan. I don't know if she's watching us, but I
she
want to send
probably,
my regards to her and everybody who's watching.
yeah. We're gonna
Thank you
roll
for
this.
having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So let's see who's here. We got a Yvonnya who's going to be on in about 6 hours down in Tasmania. Joanna Childs, Maria Williams, Mary Cooper, Sue Fitz said she's been dizzy for 3 days. Allison Clausen, Candace Blankenship, Denver, Colorado. Sasha Grace, she's coming on soon. Again, Stephen Michael Jones, Norway. Mira Ginsburg, Bobby O'Rourke. All right. Oh, she had a good post today. Bobby O'Rourke. Amber Essence, Nadine Hamilton, Cricket Holden, Joe Delaney's here. Dr. Joe, he's coming on soon. Patricia Carol Trudeau, Maurice Fergal, and Serpa Tuominen. Yeah, welcome everybody. Some new faces there. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Todd Medina. This is Soul Speaks 5D. This is our primary broadcasting vehicle on the Soul G1 network. And so it's exciting today because I have an old friend here that I kind of ran into last year. And I asked her to come on, and somehow or another, Morgan got her to come on. So I think you told me no. I'm just kidding. But so it's Eirini.
Yeah.
Eirini.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pleasure to meet you. You're in Greece. You're in
Yes,
Athens, which
yes.
is phenomenal. The energy there must be phenomenal, as far as like a portal, a power center.
Yeah. There are
Wow, that's
many ancient energy portals activated
yeah.
here in this country.
I
And of
bet.
course, they're connected with the whole earth. So we're working a
Absolutely.
lot through the energy grids.
Yeah. I want to give everybody an idea of who you are because this is a very good bio. Eirini is an old soul that carries creative and healing qualities. She's a golden ray child adult, Lemurian royal high priestess, galactic warrior that works as a multidimensional intuitive healer and teacher, specializing in guiding healers and star seeds in order for them to reclaim and ground their true being. In her sessions, while the archangels and the great pantheon of teachers under the love and light of the Holy Trinity bring pioneer healing, she channels the messages of individuals' divine parents and twin flame if the person is ready. She's trained to assist the individual to clear multidimensional traumas and remove attachments of the mind and the body, and soul, from before and after the fall from the fifth dimension, while activating the true memory and light sound codes in their divine DNA. Eirini also carries the power of Helios Logos and activates it under specific circumstances to manifest certain healing changes on Mother Earth through multidimensional crystal grids. She created a Facebook page to write and freely share the message and the knowledge of the great teachers of light in order to assist whoever wishes to prepare for the great transition. Facebook page, Crystal and Indigo Guide to the Galaxy. That's a page? That last one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. We're going to have to, if somebody would put that up in the comments, I'd appreciate it. Or I can do it when it's over. All right. So I think somebody said Grace Solaris is in the house, and I just want to take a moment to send Grace and her family healing, peace, love, and comfort. Her mother transitioned on February the 18th, and we'll be sitting down with Grace soon. But she does a lot for everybody, so some big ass love and big ass healing sent to Grace and her family. So, Eirini, you are full of light. You are full of light. Are you from Athens originally?
Yes, I was born here.
Yeah.
And grew up here.
Yeah. And did you always have the attributes that you have now? Or did you take the normal light worker path, which was you woke up with your gifts, you went to sleep in a 3D marriage, and then you came back out of it and you woke up again?
I guess I was carrying all of this knowledge, but I didn't really remember up until 2006, the beginning of 2006, where a friend took me to this healer who's actually here in Greece and is working with the energy portals. And right away, this healer, who became my really close friend, took me to the ancient energy portal that he's working from. And right away, we took an astral journey to the Pleiades. For me, it was a shocking experience. I started seeing things that I've never seen, and I've never thought that I could see different realities on other dimensions. It was a shock for me. And after that, slowly, I went deeper into the knowledge of myself, working with myself, and slowly, everything started falling apart.
Isn't that funny how the more awake you become, the more everything falls apart? That's true.
Yeah, well, totally. Everything fell apart.
I never thought about that. But that's what happened to me, and that's what's happened to everybody. Really. It's like your 3D world falls apart, and you, yeah, because I always thought it was strange that how can this all be going and I'm losing my mind, but I'm finding the light at the same time, you know. So wow,
it was a long journey. But I have to say that okay, the first years I was working, I was studying a lot, and I was meditating a lot. And I was doing my psychotherapy with myself. And the first years, things weren't moving that fast, meaning that the activations were slower and, more, let's say, in a more wide rhythm. But as time went by, and especially after 2012, and then after 2015, and then after last summer, I noticed great accelerations in my personal activations, but also with the people that come for healing. And
so you do your work in person and online, or just in person?
I do my work in person and in groups, and whenever is needed, I do it online.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I gotta ask you, God, I don't know if I told everybody. This is our first guest, our first um, in Greece.
Yay!
900 episodes. So it's exciting. And I got to tell you, this
And
is
it's on a 333 day, right?
yeah, that's right. It's 3:12 over there as of 14 minutes ago.
It's the 12th of March.
12 hours ahead of me. And thank you for coming on at midnight. Wow, that's a privilege. So when I woke up, and the universe speaks to each of us in its own unique way. But when I woke up, I was shown or communicated with 6 ascended masters that were biblical, uh, and then Magdalene and Yeshua, and okay, but there was a time that I was shown these 12 godfathers of the earth, and they gave me their names, and their names were very Greek.
Okay.
The first chair was Zeus, and then they had these different names. I wrote them down. They
Yeah.
were Greek, and it really it always stuck with me. Do people in Greece that are in this type of frequency that we all are, that we share, are they visited by the divine essences of what we were raised to believe were the Greek gods and goddesses? Do they appear? And yeah, is it?
Yes, they do. Uh, yes, they do. And all these teachers are working with the Christ energy. They have always been working under the Christ energy, right? But
Yeah.
in Greece, there is a phenomenon because of the history of the place that there are some groups that are just supporting and just following, let's say, the ancient way
Yeah.
with the 12 gods of Olympus, but not connecting the energy with the energy and the knowledge and the wisdom
Okay.
of Christ, right? But I guess as time goes by, more and more people realize that those two, let's say, different times and those two different energies are basically working for the same cause, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting that you mention the Christ, because when they came to me, they said to me, we are the 12 godfathers of the earth, and I was told from the higher level that I was serving them, that in this local capacity I was serving them. That was how I was serving the universe. And then so went down the list of the 12, and the 12th chair was Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
The 12th chair was Jesus. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, I sit in the 12th chair. And then the other thing that was interesting is I said to him, where did y'all come from? And they said, we all came from the same place, from the earth. And then I said, where did Jesus come from? And they said, he came from the other side of us, this side of the hand of the universe, like poof, like out in the middle of nowhere. So that what you said kind of resonates, that people are aligning that energy. But that would be
Well,
really interesting to me, because the Greek, that whole mythology, I loved it as a kid. And then when they came like that, or I was shown that, it really, I guess I did have some communion with them, because I got that they were us, and that was all, you know, put into the mythology, but this was all real stuff happening.
yeah.
Are people in Greece, very connected to the history?
I wouldn't say the majority. I would say a small number, yes.
Yeah,
And for sure, we're being taught the mythology of
yeah,
ancient Greeks at school. And for sure, many things are being activated inside of us at this age. Even when you read about these stories and about something resonates in every kid, right? But later in life, I think not many people keep the connection with these energies and these entities. But as I said, as time goes by, I think more and more people are connecting again and remembering again. Because, okay, I guess some reactions, yes, a lot of knowledge was hidden and forgotten through the centuries, Todd. And it takes, I guess this is why while we're working with the grids, everybody's connected. So if one person starts remembering and healing, then the next person and the other person receives the information without basically a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
So I've noticed that more and more people.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Absolutely. Now, in Athens, I would think, I shouldn't assume anything, but I would think that in Athens, because of the richness of the history and the PowerPoints within Greece itself, I mean, I would think that there would be a noticeable community of awakened people or conscious people or light workers.
We do have many light workers. We do have many healers, and we do have many good teachers. That's true. But as with everywhere in the world, these people just starting to be even more apparent now. These groups are even more getting to be more known now. The past, let's say, 1 or 2, 3 years, right?
Yeah. So if you go out into the streets of Athens, will you see people or hear people talking about this type of stuff? It's not that big.
Not on the streets, but yes, maybe in some groups, healing groups.
Now, what faces of the universe do you work with typically? Is it angelic? Is it the Greek gods and goddesses? Is it galactic?
But
or
basically all of them.
Yeah.
But since I was a child, I felt very strongly the presence of the Holy Spirit. And I didn't understand back then. I just felt there was an energy, there were eyes above me, right?
Yeah.
All my life. And yeah, as I was growing up, I kind of disconnected from that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then later in life, and after my first awakenings, I started connecting again with the Holy Spirit, which is basically our Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine energy. And as years went by, even more. It was difficult for me to accept this from my human perspective, that I was in the presence of the Divine Mother.
Yeah.
But eventually, I accepted it.
Yes. Now, when you went with your friend, I think you said it was 2006. You said you saw some things. What kind of stuff did you see?
Yeah, right away when we arrived there, okay, he was used to it, but me, I wasn't, and we weren't talking while the whole thing. And I saw right away Pallas Athena, which is she's the protector of Athens, actually, and she's one of the 12 gods, right, of the Greek mythology. And right away, she just appeared in front of me, in front of a round temple that I've never seen before. I've never seen a round temple before in my life.
A round temple?
A round temple, yes. And she gave me some symbols, and she said to me what they meant. And there were other people basically saying hello, welcoming me.
Wow.
And when we came back with my friend, I said, "This is what I saw. This is what happened to me." And he said, "Wow, from the first time she came to you and she gave you all these symbols and help, and it was basically my first initiation of remembering."
Well, you had a good one.
Yeah, and after, I think it was after 2 or 3 years, right? I visited a place, maybe you know it, it's called Delphi.
Yes.
And this place is known for, because it was the temple of Apollo.
Mm.
And this is where Pythia used to give, she was an oracle, and she would give her messages in the ancient times. So I visited Delphi, and as I was walking around in the area, I followed the path downwards because it's on the mountainside, and there I see in front of me the round temple of Pallas Athena that I never knew it existed there. It is
Wow.
actually one of, I don't know if there's another round temple in Greece. Maybe there is, but it was such a shock after 2 or 3 years that I saw this temple in front of me. It was very
Wow.
moving. So this temple existed and exists here in the third dimension. But it was the
Wow.
same temple I saw.
And
at
have
my
you
first
and
visit
and
to the plaza.
have you connected to other of the Greek gods and goddesses?
Yeah, basically all of them.
Yeah.
I work with them. They're here when I do the healing. They're in the team. They're guiding me.
Wow.
And lately, the past 1.5 year, because you know they take turns depending where you are at your evolution or what you need to learn.
Yeah.
So the past 1.5 year, Hera, maybe you know her as Juno. She was
Hera
the twin flame of Zeus, right? It
of
was
Zeus. Yeah. Yeah.
Zeus and Hera. Maybe you know them as Jupiter and Juno. These
I
are
know
the
him as
Latin names.
Zeus and yeah, Zeus and Hera. I know him as that.
So the past 1.5 year, Hera is being really present in my life, guiding me and helping a lot with the healing and helping a lot with the energy grids of Earth.
Yeah. And now you have a practice as an energy healer. Um, is this something that you do every day? Is this where you spend most of your time with your clients?
Yes, but it's not easy to do it every day. So I might do it. Sometimes I do it every day, or sometimes I do it twice a day and then take a break. But I cannot, this is not something I can do every day, the whole week.
Yeah. 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 I can
But yes,
understand
this is mainly
that.
what I do.
I can
This is
understand that.
mainly what I do.
Yeah. Now, as far as the work on the earth, do you do it from where you're at and do it through the ethers, or do you travel around?
I do it from my base here, but I also visit the places.
Mm-hmm.
We've done some work in the main energy gate of Athens, which is in the at the Acropolis. And
That's the main energy point?
yes, this is the heart of Greece.
That,
This is the main energy portal of Greece.
yeah. Wow. And
And yes,
have you
I visit different places.
yeah. Have you found others? Do others help you on the grid there in Athens? Yeah.
Yes,
And
and there are
how did
many
you?
other people working with the grids in Athens.
Wow.
Many people. Uh,
Now and
Heroes, Todd. These people are heroes. They're
yes,
working
yeah.
all the time. They never stop.
With
These are
nobody,
people that we might never
yeah.
know in our lives, or maybe we might never listen to their names, but they're there working really hard with love.
Yeah. It reminds me of Marita Shoshone's story in Israel, where she's been doing that for 20 years and with some other people in places in Israel. So now I'm just curious, this is fascinating. Do you have a connection with any star family or galactic lineage?
Well, meaning what?
Well,
Can you
meaning like,
explain?
I mean, some people, it could be that,
Arcturus, I have from Arcturo.
Arturo.
Is that the name in English? Yes, I think.
Yeah,
Arctur, right?
yeah,
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 I
Arcturus.
do.
Uh, do you ever get guidance from Arcturians?
Yes,
Okay.
but they don't necessarily tell me that they're from there. You know, I have an aspect that comes from the seventh dimension. Okay, so this aspect is very difficult for me to actually even talk to because my family there, let's say, or the spiritual family from there, they don't even bother talking to me. And it's like many times it's like, why? So the higher they are, they don't interfere,
Yeah.
right? I don't know, maybe this is my um, let's say education here, right?
Yeah.
But this aspect of me from the seventh dimension, they're there, they're looking at me, they're observing, but they don't usually interfere. They don't even usually talk to me. But my aspect from the fifth dimension, I speak with my family from there and my spiritual family from there and all my guides and teachers from there. Yes.
Hmm. Now, when you talk about aspects, uh, do you ever feel them come into your body? I mean, or is it more of a,
Both.
okay,
It depends. Some of them come in my body, but usually it is my true essence that comes in my body. And this is something that I've chosen to do. So if teachers come and if light entities come to connect with me, I just feel the connection that they're standing next to me and they're just connecting with me because
yeah,
I've chosen to channel mainly and just receive my own true being, right?
yes,
This was just from the beginning. This was my choice. Maybe it was a subconscious choice, but this is what I liked. I wanted to make sure that no weird energies would just use me as a medium, right? So
yeah,
I declared only my true being, and then for sure when I connect with the teachers, they have a way to connect with me, and I transmit their messages to the person who's receiving the healing, or generally
yeah.
many messages,
And I'm
many
curious.
information.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm curious. And I've asked people this, and I get different answers, but I'm just curious what your take is on it. Now, these teachers that come, be it a Greek god or goddess or Magdalene or whoever, do you feel that they're embodied within you, or do you feel they're like me and you, apart, separate?
I feel them in my energy field, but
Yeah.
not embodied in me. They
Okay.
are in my energy field.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, when they connect with me, I feel that they create this energy field around me and around the room
Yeah.
in order for them to bring their essence and bring
It's like
their messages, right?
yeah. Is it like a circle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
Although I
and
work inside pyramids, okay, the thing that you're talking about, this energy net that I feel, When they come, it's a circle.
Yeah. And when you visit, that isn't that is, when you step out of your and you go to the fifth dimension, and you speak with your family, and you speak with your spiritual family. How does that go? Is that a very detailed thing, or is it a telepathic, wordless type of communication?
In order to go to the fifth dimension, you need to have a crystal body or a light body. I don't know, it depends how each person calls it. You cannot go to the fifth dimension with your astral body, right? The astral body corresponds to the fourth dimension and the third dimension. So in order to create the crystal body or the light body, a person needs to somehow ask for it. Not necessarily, if they don't know, not necessarily say, I want to create my light body and I want to activate my light body, but even through a prayer, a simple person that might express saying, oh God, please help me to see who I am, or God, help me awaken. This is when the crystal body starts to be activated, right? Because our crystal bodies and our light bodies weren't activated for many thousands of years. We couldn't basically visit the fifth dimension because the gates, the portals were closed.
Yeah.
Only, let's say, some few and great teachers or saints, yes, they managed to move on and go with their light bodies to the fifth dimension. So, yes, when I go in the fifth dimension, it is usually for a healing, for an activation, for a cleansing, and yeah, the energy there is very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
And oh my God, I had a good question. Oh, so I guess you kind of answered it though. So really the content of the visits are in regard to what you just stated. Now, when you work with teachers, like you said, Hera has been guiding you for a year and a half. Do these teachers strictly participate and facilitate the healings, or do they also share intel with you? Do they share what's going on in the world and that type of thing?
Oh, so much. Very much. Many information. Many. I can share some if you like.
Absolutely, yeah. I would be honored if you would.
Okay, so what was really shocking for me was, I'm gonna go a little bit back a few months, okay?
That's
the summer of 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, summer of 2018, there were many deadly fires around the world.
Yeah.
We had one here in Athens. Very devastating, dramatical fires. And I don't know if you remember, I was watching the news because I had the information. So I was watching the news. And if you go back and listen to these interviews, you would hear people saying, oh, this fire was monstrous. Or the firemen were saying, we are in the force many years, but we've never seen anything like that. So the information I got, and the teachers told me from last summer, when I asked, why is this happening? Why are these devastating, tragical, deadly fires are happening? And I opened up, I saw that, okay, there were many entities, primal beings that were holding many energy portals underground, from the underground, right? So they told me, because the earth is clearing and these entities, they have to go, even if they're ancient and really powerful, it was time for them to go. So while they were going, they were sacrificing people, trees, animals, And it was actually a very bad thing happening while a good thing was happening. So they showed me how these ancient and primordial entities would hold these energy portals, basically feeding from the energy of people who were living there or even passing through there. And they said to me, even if you were walking, let's say, with your boyfriend through an area that a being like that was holding, maybe you would find yourself fighting with your boyfriend suddenly.
Yeah.
So there were many, many different portals like that. And they said to me, many people who died in these fires, they had either contracts or they sacrificed themselves because these entities were demonic and they wouldn't leave just like that.
Yeah.
They have to create distraction, right? And a lot of these ancient portals of control and manipulation have cleared, but there are a few more to go.
There are a few more.
Yes, and they said to me, depending on the element that these beings were using and connecting, you might see distractions that correspond to this element. Meaning, if a being was using the fire element, you might see fires. Or if a being was using the water element to control these portals, you might see devastating floods or devastating rains, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are primordial, really powerful beings, but they have to go now. It's over.
Yeah, it is over.
Yes.
It sounds like, it sounds like the same type of method that the fourth dimensional archons were using,
Yeah, it is
in
the same.
getting their sustenance from our emotional
Yeah.
conflict.
So now that you say this, the next very important information came in November after 11/11, right? Where the teacher said a huge vehicle area acting and operating as a machine of control in the matrix has fallen. And this vehicle, this operating machine was huge in the astral plane, huge in the matrix. And they said, we did it. They were fighting, they were working, the beings, but we also, with all the work we've done, we really helped them. So
we did. You mean the work that we did here on the earth?
the light workers helped a lot the beings that were working from the astral plane. We cooperate, you see. This is why it was very important for all the light workers to do the work, right?
Yeah.
So they said, once this huge area fell, after that was a rescue. There were many rescue teams, doctors, nurses, all kinds of teams helping the souls and the beings that were trapped there for eons. And I cannot tell you what I've seen, what they showed me. It was really painful and really disgusting.
No, this resonates a lot, because before I even knew anything about ascension or anything, I used to get, I still do sometimes, a lot of galactic war history, right? Particularly what had gone on here. So when you tell me that that it was disgusting and you can't talk, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I actually saw it again in Sedona this past September. I saw a place where they did stuff, and held particularly children. So now this the one you're talking about now, this was a big area, or
Yes,
was there a machine involved, some type of?
it was an area in the matrix that the whole earth and all the beings were connected basically
Yeah,
for many eons, right? And it
yeah,
was working like a machine. It was operating like a machine of control and manipulation.
yeah. I get that.
And
That's why.
many people were parts, okay,
Yeah,
aspects and parts of people were
yeah,
trapped there,
yeah,
and they weren't able to be free, to connect with their soul or the human
yeah,
here.
yeah,
And there was so much programming and so many experiments on the subconscious of people
yeah,
that many people couldn't find the truth in their subconscious, right? So
right.
after this machine fell, the energy of our subconscious, our mental subconscious, and the emotional subconscious started to really clear out here on earth. And they said to me, after this, the teams are still working, recovering everybody, right? But they said, after this, the healing and the battle and the fight we have to give is going to be in the physical level. And I asked, why is that? And they
No,
said, yes, tell me.
okay. Just so I understand, so you're saying, because this makes sense. On 11/11 last year, it's everything seemed to change, and the winter solstice, and then January 1st, and everybody knows this year's been fast and furious. Now, back to what you were saying, you're saying that they were telling you that the next stage or the next phase of this would be physical battle.
Yes, physical effort and physical battle, and all these change will appear in the physical. And I asked them, what do they mean by that? Okay, because at the beginning it sounded scary to me.
Yeah.
And they said, it's very simple. When you do energy work, they said, and you have a person in front of you that starts to do sessions with you, first you start working with the astral body, with the subconscious, the non-physical aspects, the
Mhm.
etherical body, and then slowly, this person cleans themselves, they're balancing out their energy, and they're able to ground the change, right? This is the same with Earth and all the crystal grids that we worked all these years. They said,
Yeah.
you have been doing the work in the astral plane and the etherical aspects, but now, as it clears in the non-physical, we're gonna have to see the changes here and ground these changes, right?
What
And
and
they
what do you
said,
and what do you think they mean by see the changes? Do you think we'll see things that we might have thought were fantastic and supernatural? Or is that what you mean?
I I think they meant many things, but I have to say that for me personally also, the things I felt and the activations that happened to me after 11/11, I haven't seen all the 13 years I'm doing the work, right? It was a great shift. And for many, I heard this from many people, that suddenly they start feeling differently in their physical body.
Yeah.
And I think they also meant that we're gonna see um, start literally feeling in the physical reality other worlds, other energies,
Yeah.
and slowly, we will start grounding and anchoring here
Yeah.
the true light of our being. But there was another aspect in their message, and it's not very pleasant. They
Well,
said, they said that the powers of control, they're regrouping, okay? And though basically the war is over, we have a time delay and a time lag, let's say. So
mhm,
things will happen, right? And
yeah.
they're going to focus on basically disturbing the physical aspect of people
Yeah.
in many
It's
different
kind of
ways.
it's kind of like the fires, the primordial energies you were talking about. It was done, and they just raised some hell going out the door, basically, because
Exactly,
it's a fight they can't win.
for
So,
sure. But you know
but
what
I,
it is?
go ahead.
There is an aspect because when your physical body is under attack and you feel dangerous, danger for your survival, it is a very different thing
Yeah,
to face. You know what I mean? Like to for all of us.
yeah,
So we have to really be in our center and really trust and feel protected.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. Is like just like they told you, we that have done the work helped to remove that large machine you were talking about. By the same token, anything that comes at us, we can stay in our power and transmute, transform. This is what we do. I
And
think
I
it's
say,
yeah,
prepare ourselves emotionally, physically. Just prepare and even just pray that I'm always protected and I'm
yeah,
always under the guidance of my true self. And just be aware because there are many people that are, of course, disconnected from their true self that they won't be able to do anything.
yeah. Well,
So we're praying for everybody.
that's why we're here. I
Yeah.
think I think most people uh, understand that have understood people that have been doing this for a long time, like you, like Morgan, so many people that come on the show. Not me, but that there would come a time when the majority of people would need help.
Yes.
They would need the assistance of energy workers, basically.
I've seen this in my dreams many times. At the time of the great upset, I've seen that people basically receive the message in every neighborhood, in every city, where to go to receive guidance. I've seen this dream many times. People receiving telepathically information to where to go at this point and who to ask for help or guidance. And these
Uh,
are the light workers. These
yeah,
are the teachers, the healers, and the light workers that have been
yeah,
doing the work all these years.
yeah, and I think that removal of that machine
Oh,
that
God.
that was huge because um, there, like you said, there were some people that couldn't connect to their aspects, parts of
Not
themselves.
some,
Yeah,
not some.
all
Basically, all of
all
us.
all of us. Yeah,
All of us. But
yeah,
some of us, for some reason which I don't know, I guess before we come here, we arranged to remember and start activating and
yeah,
healing, right? But the history is so big. There are many indigos because I've worked a lot with indigos.
mm-hmm.
There are many indigos that were trapped in many machines like that. And indigos are very sensitive and very receptive of programming, very, very receptive of programming. So they were trapped. Their aspects were trapped there.
Yeah,
Souls were trapped there. And
yeah,
I had indigos telling them that, you know what? Your consciousness or your soul is trapped
yeah,
and you need to do the healing. You need to reclaim your parts. And they were so scared from all these tortures,
yeah,
right, in their
yeah,
subconscious, that they were afraid. to
Yeah.
let go and ask for healing, because there was a programming in them that if they dare
Yeah.
ask for healing, they would get even worse.
Yeah.
So do you
No,
understand? They had trapped
yeah, I do.
individuals in many different aspects.
Yeah, I do get that. And I do get that it was all of us. Even those that were able to remember some things still had aspects they couldn't get in touch with. And see, I've had this is I can see all this. I don't see a lot of things and do a lot of things I think that other people do. It doesn't matter. But this whole thing with the galactic war and the Earth history has always come to me, and I don't talk about it much. But one of the things, two things jump out at me. One is I went to Long Island to near the Montauk base. And the Montauk, when I drove past it, I saw a lot of what you're talking about, one of the many times, but it was very powerful, and I knew it had something to do with that place, which had to do with the torture, the subconscious, the removal of parts of the soul, and time travel, timeline jumping, and
Experiments.
yeah, yeah. And then the other thing that jumps out at me is that's why I was asking about the big machine that was removed. Was there a physical 3D construct of it? Because I know
Oh,
that I've seen this huge facility that basically had the GPS of every single person on the earth,
oh
and
my God.
and basically monitored that, monitored. So I don't know if that was it, or I don't know if that was just a metaphor, kind of a metaphoric thing that I.
Well, I'll tell you something. In 2018, Jupiter was passing through Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio. And the sign of Scorpio is connected with the sexual energy, death, and rebirth. And we're talking about the lower chakras that carry very heavy energies, right? And they were basically the chakras of control for people for many
Yeah.
eons, through sex,
Yes.
through death, and all kinds of stuff. So when Jupiter passed in 2008 through Scorpio, he performed an exorcism, and this was very powerful. And we
This
start
was.
seeing at the end of 2017 all this information coming publicly
Oh,
about
about the.
sexual abuse, and all year we see that things are coming on the surface, and many people who were involved in these experiments, control, la 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 la, are being exposed. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that this thing is cleared, but I say that they know that they're going down. And all the
Yeah.
energies from Jupiter, all the light that Jupiter shed onto humanity, on this aspect of humanity, the sexual energy, has brought a lot of change
Yeah.
and a lot of revealing.
Yeah.
And the great teachers and the great beings, they know what they do. They know how to deal with it, right? We're just
Yeah.
the
And
vessels for that.
yeah, I think that's becoming obvious too, because the distortion of sex uh, is being revealed, and then as a result, the purity and the power of our sacred sexual vibration is coming to the surface, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a
Yeah.
powerful
With the
thing.
sexual energy in humanity, through my experience, right? I've seen the most horrific
Yeah.
entities being attached in these centers, while people having sex,
Yeah.
and they're there from lifetime to lifetime, You
Yeah.
go back to the Babylonian times where they were magic. They would prefer magic. They would prefer perform magics with sex, and
Yeah.
ancient Egypt. So these are things that have gone, have gone on through the centuries.
Yeah. Well, I think many of us could attest to clearing all this stuff, obviously with the help of our teachers and masters, as you call them, over the last year or two.
Yes.
I know I can just say my journey's been that part of it, the removal, the cleaning out of my lower chakras, the physical transformation, I think has probably been the loudest communication that I've received, because it's always been very clear. I know it's happening. I know what's going on. And I'll tell you something, it was not a fast process. It's taken a long, long time, compared to other.
It connects with the most powerful instincts, life and death.
Yeah.
Right? It is these are the most heavy things to clear out and change.
Yeah.
But
And
it is happening.
yes,
That's the good message.
So now here's another one. So in this intel that you receive, do they tell you where this is all going? Are we literally becoming divine human beings as this planet becomes a more divine planet? And are we actually creating a new dimension or a higher dimension? I don't know what, but do they give you any intel on where this is going, how this is going to look?
Did you ask if we're creating another dimension? We're not creating another dimension.
Let me extract that part of it. What are they telling you in terms of where this is headed to, or what this is, or anything you can offer on that?
Yeah. Returning to our true home and a true existence. Okay? And returning in the fifth dimension, or most of humanity is basically going to return to the higher realms of the fourth or the fifth dimension. Some entities will go to even higher dimensions. I don't know, that depends. But basically, we're clearing, remembering, activating our divine DNA in order to become our true self. And this is something that we need to experience day by day, because for us it's very important to have this experience. Apparently, we chose this thing in a way, we chose this experience, and it is a day by day process. So they haven't said that this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to happen. For sure, we know that at a point we will move, or let's say become our true selves and move to our real homes. But they haven't said really.
Yeah.
They haven't talked about the everyday experience, right? Because this is what's important. For all I know for sure is that we have to be really careful about the whole ascension thing.
Yeah.
We have to really be careful. What we see in the skies, it doesn't mean it's a good thing.
I agree.
It doesn't mean
I
that
totally agree.
are working for the good of humanity.
I
Okay,
agree
this
with
is
you.
what I know. They're going to use this. They're
I
going to
know.
use the ascension to just hurt a lot of
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah. There's programming. Programming's what got us here, and anyone, you know, there is ascension programming. Period. Uh, you know, so we've got to, you know, like I always say, I trust you and I trust me. I don't trust any of those, none of them. I don't trust the financial reset. I don't trust spaceships in the sky. I don't trust anything but me and you and my brothers and sisters. And the rest of it had plenty of time to prove otherwise. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Q. I don't trust nobody but me and you and my brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
That's it.
Our inner feeling, our
Yeah.
inner guidance, okay? But
Yeah.
please remember, and the people who are listening, some for sure they know, some might not know, that we have a finite mind, right? We have a mind that is programmed.
Yeah.
And I always say that I'm going to doubt always a part of what my mind is saying
Yeah.
and leave a space just to see if this
Yeah.
thing really is true. Because please don't believe anything you read or hear. And
Yeah.
because I read a lot of things and I'm on the internet and I'm on Facebook and I read a lot of comments and a lot of posts of people, and I see that everybody's like really like, oh, it's happening now and we're doing it now. And you know, I'm always very cautious because
Yeah.
we're talking about of the majority of humanity is still
Yeah.
sleeping, right? So
Yeah.
how can all humanity move on just like that? No. Okay, yes, we have ascended in a way, and we have, let's say, bring a higher vibration in our being, but our brothers and our sisters are here still, and some of them are sleeping, and we're all connected. So we're gonna need some time here, right?
Yeah.
And many light workers, all these years, they have been saying to me many times, oh, I just want to go home. I just want to
Yeah.
leave. I've had enough.
That,
And I said, guys, listen, this is the fun now. This is
that's right.
where, because
That's
we've done
exactly
the work and now it's
that's
time
right.
for us to enjoy in a way.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And I love what you said too about the mind, because and I think a lot of us have solved that. And I think that's what I'm talking about is so many of us are going counter against the mind. You know, I say if it doesn't make sense, do it. Because our higher self, our aspects is telling us go do this and go do that. Go do grid work. Go and it doesn't make any sense, but we're doing it. That's the connection you're talking about. That's the one you're
yeah,
talking about.
we're
And I
moving
say
to the
that
light, right?
I say that because so many people are waking up, and we have spent eons, uh, lifetime after lifetime of judging ourselves as not worthy, as judging ourselves. Oh, she can do that. Eirini can do that. And Todd can do that. I can't do that. We can do it all. You know,
Sure.
this is why this platform to me is so special,
For
because it's the talking about it that opens up the memories. And I'll tell you what's really coming in strong right now too, because of you today, is, and it's been coming in, but it's coming in really strong right now, and that is the help that we're all getting. What we can't see, what we can't see with our eyes, at least not till lately, we've got huge armies with us. You know, each one of us has a huge army. So keep that in mind, everybody, you know.
I'm praying all the time to really, for humanity, for me, for everybody, for the information of what Earth really is and in what system we really live in, because I have seen that we're not living in the place we think we live.
I
For
agree.
me, Earth is very different than what we think it is.
Yeah,
And
I
this is
agree.
what I'm saying for. I think one of the information that will shock humanity and will be part of the awakening and the transition will be what kind of system Earth is.
Yeah, I agree with you.
A part of.
I don't, yeah, I see these people. Is it round, flat, hollow? I don't think we have any idea what we're talking about here.
I'll tell you something. It is very difficult to visualize something you've never seen. That's why I've talked about uh, the programmed mind, right?
Yeah,
So to go inside and say, show me what kind of system I live in, it's going to be very hard to go beyond the pictures and the images your mind knows, right?
yes. Yeah,
All I
I
know,
agree. I agree.
all I
Sometimes,
know
yeah,
is that for sure we are living a closed system.
yeah,
For sure, we're
yeah,
surrounded by a matter that it's like water, and for
yeah.
sure, underneath the earth, there are other worlds, not necessarily working for the good of humanity.
I agree.
The three things I've seen.
I have too, a little bit. I don't know if you've seen. For one thing, I can tell you, when I was in Sedona last year, and I had an experience on a mountain where I shot up, you know, physically. I was a giant. I think many people have had that experience. And when I did, I was looking at the stars and I could see what appeared to be water above them. And I looked at the stars and I thought to myself, that's an overlay. Those
Mhm,
stars are an overlay.
mhm.
You know, they might represent something that is infinite and whatever, but it's an overlay. And then the other thing you were talking about, I saw the earth was more like oval and there was these layers in between, and each one of them had worlds basically. um, I remember getting that visual a couple of years ago, in regard to inner earth and this and that.
I'm
Yeah,
praying for that. I'm
yeah,
praying every day and I'm asking from
yeah,
Spirit to
yeah,
reveal where we live in.
yeah. And I go back to what you said earlier too, because they there's a lot of talk about, we can only bring these energies to the earth at a certain pace, or it would fry your brains and your body would blow up, or whatever the case is. We chose to come here. This is an honor to be here. We are protected, and that's what I wanted to go back to. Don't let any of the complexities and mysteries uh, take your power away. Any of us, we are the power. We
Now,
are the ones
taking
that are
our
right, huh?
what you're saying, more and more people will start feeling, because after this great fall in the matrix, this machine, people will be able to take their power back, will be
Good.
able to take their memories, their parts, the human parts, the soul parts.
Yeah,
It's going to be more easy. So what you're just saying, it's going to be happening to more and more people. They're going to start feeling the
yeah,
power back and feeling safe, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because we weren't feeling safe.
No,
None of us was feeling safe, right?
no,
None of us with no
no,
memory. with
Yeah.
so much going on in the world, none of us felt safe. But the more we gain our parts back, the more powerful we feel, and more healthy we feel, and more safe we feel. But
Yeah.
all this started from the great fall from the fifth dimension, Todd. And this is a big conversation, and there are many details about what happened in the fifth dimension and what happened to the souls after the falling.
We
Because
should.
after the falling from the fifth dimension, we started a huge cycle of reincarnations.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I found, this is a great key actually, I found the reason why each soul fell from the fifth dimension is the main aspect they need to heal. And the reason and the characteristic or the quality that led every soul to fall from the fifth dimension has been following them throughout all the lifetimes.
That resonates. And what I think what
And
you're saying is, I think what you're saying is, because I remember I had this happen to me. I was actually with somebody about 7 years ago and we had a soul recognition. We saw, morphine and all that stuff. And the woman that I was with had jealousy. And I
had
saw it,
okay.
jealousy. So the jealousy was like almost like an organ, like an internal organ, but it was attached to the outside of her body. And I was told this is what she carried in. This is what she's carried in through her lives. It's always there. And then
From the fall,
yeah,
you mean? From the
yes.
yes,
So that it was always there and I was told that everybody brings something with them. And mine
yes.
was arrogance, was arrogance,
But literally, there is a way through healing, right?
Absolutely.
To remember what happened. Who were you in the fifth dimension,
Yeah.
right? What were you doing at the moment of the Great Rebellion? Because we have two different main categories. We have those who consciously followed the rebellion and participated in this secret planning of it. And we have the souls, on the other hand, that were tricked by them. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is very different. You have many different things to heal if you participated
Mhm.
consciously
Yeah.
or if you were tricked and fooled by
Yeah.
the rebellions, right? So it's a very different thing. It's a long conversation about what happened
Yeah.
in the dimension.
I think we should talk about it sometime. But that makes all the sense in the world because look, people say it all the time. Most of the people in this world are good people, you know? Uh, and the way we've been controlled has been through being tricked with social security numbers and contracts and patents and copyrights and ownership and possession. These things that we sign for because they had to run the realm to universal law. We had to
Yeah,
give consent. We had to give consent. So that same trickery pattern probably stemmed from what you're talking about. This is a fascinating subject.
but listen, the souls that participated by choice, right, in the rebellion, are our brothers and our sisters.
Yeah.
I love them very much. Me,
Yeah.
I love them. I love everybody. But we have to give them the responsibility of their choice, right?
Yeah.
And they're good also. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's good, but
Yes.
they just did some choices. I think they were angry. And I always say to them, whatever being it is, I don't care. Even him who initiated all this, I just tell him, listen, if you're angry, if you have issues, go to your father, your creator, go to your mother, your creator, go inside yourself and resolve your issues and leave us alone, right? So
You're
everybody,
nicer than me. I just say FO.
I just said, this is the best thing to do. Just say,
Yeah.
listen, stop involving with us and stop, just go and deal with your issues and your anger and whatever you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So there were many fallen angels. There were
Yeah.
many fallen beings, right? That participated by choice. They're
Yeah.
our brothers and our sisters, and we love them. But they need to take responsibility, right?
Everybody's
And
got to, yeah, everybody's got to handle their own shift, right? And I think
there, there are many,
yeah, I think that's
there
something
are
that's
many that are
happening.
asking to pass. Sorry, say
No,
that
go
again.
ahead. We have a lag. No, go ahead. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said there are many entities and many souls that participated
Yeah.
by choice,
Yeah.
that all these years they have been asking to pass into the light because they regret it. But of course, it is not just an open door. They have to go through certain processes, right?
You cannot miss a step. It's the same for everybody. But I think you're seeing, in the physical what you're saying is, and that's over these last few months, especially this year, you're seeing people who are no longer trying to fix this person or save that person or heal this person uh, as a priority over their own self-care, their own self-healing. Everyone's got to do it on their own. Everyone's got to, you're a healer. You show people how to do it, and
But I've done it.
yeah,
I've done
you've done it.
what you
Yeah,
just said. I tried
yeah,
many times to deal
yeah,
with other people who
yeah,
wouldn't accept
yeah,
the healing, and that was hurtful for me. But
yeah,
I learned my lesson, and I'm still learning, of course.
yeah.
But all the rest of the souls that were tricked and fooled in the
Yeah,
fifth dimension,
yeah.
we've lost our vibration because basically at that moment when this happened, we judged ourselves, right? They
Yes.
were souls who were fooled and tricked but didn't fall, Todd. This is when the teachers told me that I was shocked. They were souls, I will repeat that. They were souls that were tricked and fooled, but they didn't lose the vibration and they didn't fall. Why? I asked, why did this happen? And they said, because when they realized what was happening, they didn't judge themselves. They were in total acceptance of what happened to them. So they kept the vibration.
Let that be a lesson for all of us.
But I guess
Yep.
maybe we weren't mature enough as souls and we just, you know.
Or maybe we just wanted to go participate in something exciting and
Yes,
expand
or
creation. I've
maybe
been
we were
told, yeah. I mean, the universe is learning from us. We're learning from the universe. You know,
sure.
we're warriors. We're and like you
Totally.
said, this is what we came. Now this is the fun part. So, okay. So, is there anything you want to conclude with? Anything you want to say, or anything you want to do? It's up to you.
I was told to just before we start that I could sing some activations for
Sure.
people that might want to receive healing today.
Okay.
And the teacher said that each one will receive the healing that they've asked, they need, but also we will pray for everybody, if they want, to remember what happened to them in the fifth dimension, who are they there, right? And connect with their divine parents. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So whoever needs to or wishes to connect with their divine parents from the fifth dimension and connect and activate their crystal light body today, there is a huge portal opening in front of everybody who's wishing to receive this activation and this healing. And the archangels is showing us now orders of angels connecting through the energy grids of Mother Earth. And they're bringing to each one who wants to remember a beautiful crystal flower in their hearts that will activate the memory inside of their heart and soul. So let's just take a few breaths. Or. And it is done. Amen.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Whew, man. Powerful. I'm gonna have to go lay down for the next show. It's been a real pleasure.
I'm gonna have to lay it down. I feel so much energy, and I feel, I don't know, I feel so much excitement.
Yeah, I actually do too. Yeah,
And I just want to say one last thing, that breathing is the most easy and natural way to ground these energies and also to activate our true memory. Breathing is the key, because we forget to breathe many times.
True. That's true. We should get together again and talk about whatever. The fifth dimension.
And my dream is to go to Hawaii one day. I'm happy you're there, because I have such a great, beautiful, loving memories from Lemuria. And I'm really happy that Greece and Hawaii are connected tonight.
Yes. I got to
And the
tell you
whole world.
that the Lemuria thing is, I never even thought about it till I got over here. But Morgan and I had several, I don't know what you call them, connected to the energy of it, but dimensional experiences and that type of thing. Very powerful, extremely powerful. You have to come see us. You have to come see us.
And you have to come here too, right?
I will. I'm working on my passport. It's probably going to take me a few months, but I'm working on it.
And I want to say hi. I just want to say hello and send many kisses to my friend Mary Grigoropoulos, who is in Australia right now, holding space and watching us. Lots of love to Australia.
Yeah. All right. It's beautiful. We'll see you again. We'll reach out to you and we'll do it again. We'll talk some more. Very, very informative. Thank you for the song and the blessing and the prayer and everything else.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Bye.